Hey everyone, it's Tom Crowds and you're in my office here. Today we're going to talk about no money down. Is it really possible to buy properties with no money down? And here's our 2 cents on this subject, is that there's a few different strategies. No money down real estate investing has been the selling feature of a lot of real estate courses and programs for at least 20, 25 years now. And some of the main strategies around no money down go like this. I mean, the biggest one is when you ask the seller of the property to hold back a mortgage. Now that could be 100% value of the property, or it could be like 20% value of the property. So that if they hold 100% of the mortgage of the value of the property back, and they're essentially the mortgage holder and you buy the property, you're doing a deal with no money down. And that's actually possible to do. It's not very common, but it's possible. Or if they hold down back 20% of the value of the property, and then you go to the bank and qualify for the remaining 80%, pay them the 80% from the bank mortgage that you got, they hold back the 20%, you've essentially done a no money down deal. Nick and I tried no money down deals like that in the late 1990s, and an older gentleman put his arm around me when I was presenting him with this offer that I had typed up on Microsoft Word, and he said, hey look Tom, there was a day that I might consider this, but I don't need to do it. I just want to sell my property. And it finally hit me at that point that I was reading real estate strategies and falling kind of in love with the idea of buying properties like that, no money down, but the strategy didn't make sense for the economic cycle. In the late 1990s, properties were selling. When properties can't sell, like in the late 1970s, early 1980s, so for example, in the early 1980s, when interest rates were in the teens and real estate wasn't exchanging hands as quickly as it is today, and people have a little bit harder time selling property because of the interest rates, you might be able to approach somebody and say, hey, will you hold back part of the mortgage in exchange for me buying the property, and you can do a no money down deal. So when you match your strategy to the economic cycle, it's a bit more possible. Another no money down deal strategy goes like this is what is taught a lot, is that you can do lease a property from a landlord. You lease a property from an existing landlord with the right to sublease it. So you lease it for $1,500 a month with the right to sublease. Then you go to advertise the property and you rent it out to somebody else, and you rent it out for like $1,800. You keep the difference, the $300 in cash flow. You've not bought a property, you've put no money down, and you're creating $300 in cash flow. Again, is it possible? Yeah, it's totally possible to do. Are these things a little tricky and difficult to do? Yeah, it's hard to do those in a systematic way, especially again in today's market when people are renting out properties pretty easily. There's such a demand for property, especially in the GTA, that people aren't having trouble renting out their properties. So again, all these things are possible. Are they really easy to put together in a systematic way? No. The one strategy that we have seen work in today's market, that's another no money down strategy, is we know a few real estate investors who use private money. So they'll find a property that they want to buy, an income property. They'll go to different people that they know, friends, family, their network, and they will get 100% of the value of that property loaned to them for them to go buy that property. So they're essentially buying a property, no money down, because they have borrowed 100% of the money from private lenders, friends and family, to go buy an income property for themselves. We've even seen that done with properties where people are borrowing not just the value of the property, but extra to improve the property and do the renovations. So, no money down is possible. It's a great selling feature for real estate books and courses and seminars. It's just that it's a hard thing to pull off, and most importantly, you have to match the type of no money down strategy you're doing to the economic cycle if you have any chance of really pulling it off in a repeatable way. So today, the most probable one is borrowing money from private lenders. If you can pay them, 5, 6, 7, 8% interest and still make the property work, people are not getting that type of return in many other places, so there's obviously interest to do it. So you have to match the strategy to the economic cycle. And one other thing that we learned over the years, when you're just starting out, it's tough to get people to believe in you enough and for you to have enough self-confidence and conviction in your own voice to get people to lend you that kind of money, whether even if you're not doing the private lending strategy, even if you're doing a lease with the right to sublease, or buying a property from a stranger, asking them to take a vendor take back or a seller take back or hold part of the mortgage. These things tend to get a bit more possible when people have experience. Deals start flowing across their desks more. They get to know more people. When you're just starting out cold, it's a little harder to put these deals together. It's possible. We've tried them ourselves. We've not been very successful at this. We tend to use money to buy properties. And there's other strategies to kind of use money to buy properties to push you along further. We don't have enough time for that today. But hopefully that gives you some things to think about. Try to match the strategy that you're using to the economic cycle that we're in to have the most success. Until next time, your life, your terms.